Well, I'll get your name first, Tom.
Yep, Tom Pickens.
And how old are you, mate?
I'm 63 years age today, or not today, but early this year.
I'm still impressed because you're still surfing and you're still catching the waves, so that's really
good. And I can just make a bold statement that last week I caught possibly the best, be in my top 5 best barrels.
Was that at Sandy Bay or where was
No,
that?
it was at the racecourse.
Racecourse?
Yeah.
Oh, yep.
Yeah. And I'm so pleased for myself at 63 and still being able to do that.
So tell me about the wave. What, you took off and it was...
Oh, I just dropped into a little pocket and I thought the next thing I just walled up in front of me. And I could see it was going to barrel and I just tucked in, and luckily for me I had a big group of young guys in their early 20s or even younger, and they saw me get this massive barrel, stand-up barrel.
Yeah.
And they were just absolutely...
Did they give you a yahoo?
Oh, they were absolutely yahoo. And of course, when that happens, you feel as though, hey, you're still the man again.
You feel 16, no? You really do, yeah. Okay, well, that's brilliant. First surfboard?
First surfboard was in the surf at Oahu. It was a homemade surfboard made by my sister and my brother-in-law at the time. And it was about a 9'6", red and white. Very little rocker, pretty straight.
So was it a foam board? Or
yeah, foam, and had cloth around it.
Yeah, you guys made it yourself, yeah?
I didn't take part in making it, but that was in about 1963.
Yeah. So you were surfing at Oahu, right? Because you were living at that
I lived in Oahu all my life.
So was there many guys surfing in Oahu?
No, I could say I was pretty much the first, and then I happened to be shearing at that time, and and then I was one of the first people I was the first guy, I'm pretty sure, to surf Arkau, which is Elliott's Bay, north of Nautama.
Yeah, that can be a pretty mean wave when it gets a bit
size.
And
I was still in the learning curve then, and I was getting punished pretty severely.
What do you think made you start surfing?
Well, I was okay at sport, but when surfing came along, I just felt that was my niche, and I loved the water, and as everybody else can relate who surfs, and nobody else can relate to you that. You can't relate to anybody who doesn't surf. What you get out of surfing. And luckily, it stuck with me until I'm 63 years of age, and I hope it's going to be for another 10 years.
I'm sure it will. So you started at Oahu. Where did you surf mainly after that, or where was?
I still hung around Oahu because Oahu I was with another good friend, John Clements, and also Ken Harrison. And John explained to me in later years why the surf isn't as good as Oahu as it used to be, which you might be able to recall because I saw you there a few days. Because they put a breakwater at the end of the beach.
And that fouled it up.
And it fouled it up. It's never been as good as ever since. And we were getting quite consistent swells in those days.
So it definitely changed it. I think a lot of places.
And going to Elliott's and a little bit to Teal Bay, but Teal Bay never happened for me.
And you surf all over the place now by the sound of
and then we sort of had little forays up to Shippies. Not really knowing what was around the point, just went to Shippies, and if it wasn't happening in the bay there, well,
you went elsewhere.
Or Taupo Bay was also a good place. That was really kind to me.
So what did you wear in winter in those days? Did you wet surfing or did you have a wetsuit?
Oh yeah, I surfed all year round. No wetsuits.
No wetsuit.
Just board shorts and that.
You've got a wetsuit. When roughly did you get your first wetsuit?
No, my first wetsuit never happened until I would have been in mid-80s, in my 40s.
So
but I did have a break from surfing, which I regret. For a few years when I went to Western Australia to sort of try and get my grub stake for life. And when I came back with my family in 1981, I started surfing again. And because my 2 boys were keen. And
so both your sons surf?
And my son-in-law.
Son-in-law. It's something special getting out there with family members. And was that your son out there the other day?
Yes, I meant to introduce you to him.
That's fine. Well, we did say hello on the beach.
I know, but it just sort of escaped me because I sort of...
It's something special surfing about your family. So I've been lucky with my daughter surfed, and I've got 5 grandchildren, and 3 of them had a go at surfing. So I know where you're coming from with that. Tarahi Surf Club. Were you a member of the Tarahi Club, or?
I was Never a member, but I did go a few of their functions.
Yeah.
I sort of possibly, I don't say an honorary member, but never a paid up member if I recall. Because competitions haven't been my thing.
Yeah, it's a different thing altogether.
Yeah, I appreciate guys who do, but it's just not for me.
Yeah.
I just surf just for surfing's sake.
Good on you. So where were those socials? Were they at the AMP hall? Old? Did you go to the one at Onarahi years ago?
Most of what I did, I do recall the one
Old
at
Boys
Carmo.
Carmo, yes, they had some Marsden Wheelers Hall.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah.
I do recall that one, and then in a bit of a dust up.
It usually did after a while in the later hours. Your best surfboard. What's been your best surfboard?
Well, the best surfboard. Wow, that's a real good call. That one, because I've had over 20.
20 surfboards, you're doing well.
And I really think the best surfboard I had, I think, was shaped by Wayne Parks in Atlas Woods. It was getting down, not quite, just over 8 feet. It had a sort of diamond pod tail, single fin, very deep fin, and twin concaves in the nose.
Yeah.
And surfed, possibly I was surfing at my best at that time. I went to the Gold Coast with Dave Boyd.
Yep.
And we sort of were there for about 7 weeks, and we surfed every day. And anybody who surfs every day for 7 weeks, you do improve.
Yeah, get really good, yeah.
And I felt as when I was possibly surfing my best, and the board was going at its best. And then we were sort of living up in Southport, and we went to do a beach break sort of overhead at Surfers, and I was doing what I considered a pretty stylish re-entry. And of course, no leg rope those days. Sort of got washed into the beach. Expecting my board to be somewhere out on the beach, and I saw up in the waves, and I thought, oh no, it's not there. So I look along the beach, and here it is in a peak, snapped in half.
Oh, so you just about cried.
It wasn't just about crying, because I'd sort of spent all my money in the 7 weeks, possibly sort of socialising rather than sort of expecting to buy a new board.
Yeah.
So I had to sort of leave the Gold Coast and went and cut cane in Queensland for a while.
Yep.
Yeah.
Any surf heroes that stand out, even local guys when you first started, or was it more the magazine sort of?
No, I sort of wasn't big into magazines.
Yeah.
But I always remember, I thought Dak McDonald was pretty impressive.
He was, yeah.
Aggressive.
Yeah.
And fellow surfer John Clements was pretty smooth.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Nowhere near as aggressive as Dak.
Yeah.
But yeah, those two guys sort of really stand out for me.
Okay, now I'm going to ask a funny story here, and I know you've got a good story about a surfboard, so do you want to tell us that story?
Yeah, I'll just tell you, I sort of came back surfing in my early 40s and pretty hard out. And I'm a concrete contractor, and I was doing a contract up in foreshore at Para. And of course, when the surf was up, there wasn't a lot of work getting done.
Yeah.
I managed to get up there late in the evening around, I think it was at the Pines. Yeah, it was at Pines. And sort of a little bit overhead and reasonably quick. And I've got a few waves, and I thought, oh, everybody was sort of wandering in. I thought, go and get one more. And so I went paddling out, and I sort of just about punched through the top of the wave, and I lost my board, and of course the leg rope snapped on me. Then I sort of got washed into the beach, expecting my board to be somewhere near me, but of course it wasn't. It was still out and amongst the rocks and stuff, in the kelp. So I grabbed a guy who had an old dunger, and so I just gives a Lenny board, I'll try and find it. And it's pretty black,
So it was getting dark, yeah.
real dark, yeah. And then couldn't find a board, and I decided to come in, I couldn't see any rocks, and I awoke, sort of paddled in and realised I'm amongst the rocks, so I stood up, and next thing I sort of looked out, just as it was overhead, and it was just pitching right out on top of me, so I sort of abandoned the board that was on a leg rope, this old dunger, and rolled myself up into a ball, which is sort of natural instinct, I guess.
Yeah.
And just got rolled across the mussel bed. Lucky I had a wetsuit on, because the wetsuit was sort of absolutely cactus after that. So was the other part of the skin that I had was exposed. And then his board wasn't looking too good, so I sort of went up to him and I said, look, your board's not looking too good. I've got $100 stashed away in my truck there. I'll give you the $100 and call it quits. And he said, yeah, I'm really happy with that.
So you lost your surf, you did a wetsuit, and it lost your...
Yeah, and the guy I had working for me was in absolute hysterics when I came into the house with blood and just shredded skin. And went back the next day to look for my board and nowhere to be seen. So I put a sign up in the shop because I was sort of getting pretty well known up there by the stage. And put a reward of $100 on it because I was pretty keen on it. And about 3 months later, a guy turned up with it and washed up at Waipapakari, which is maybe about 30 k's up the beach.
So it's just floating away out at sea for a long, long time.
And all I had was just one fin snapped off it.
Yeah.
And apart from that, it was...
So you did get the board back?
Yeah, I've still got it.
Yeah.
And I use it too.
Yeah.
Still.
Any surf accidents that stand out or anything bad that ever, apart from that one? The rest of it pretty good?
I've been in some reasonably big waves. I will tell you, at the Ferry Bower at Manly, because I've lived in Manly for about 5 months and surfed there. And I was to go to work there in the morning, and I went out there, sort of only guy out there. And it was really way overhead.
Yeah.
And it was an unbelievable experience, and the fact that I sort of caught the wave and you've got to go down. It's a big reef exposed and you've got to go down and then across. You can't go straight. You've got to get out, pitch out, and all of a sudden this wave comes behind and just pitch up and drives you, and then I just wiped out and I went to grab my board. My body had, I would say, excreted all this bloody adrenaline.
Yeah.
It was just absolutely just so slippery.
Yeah.
And obviously I sort of got a little bit of a scare, I guess.
Yeah.
And I managed to get on the beach, and I had a wax comb in those days and just on the comb out.
Yeah.
And I went back out and got a few really good waves. But that was quite an extraordinary thing.
Yeah. Punchy little wave. Best surf trip you've ever had in New Zealand? Been a special trip that stands out?
Yes, I will go back to because I always look back at it as one of the best days I've ever had, mainly because no crowds. Was went down to the Champs just as a spectator, and Ken Berry and Bill Player came back with me, and we went via Raglan, and we didn't know about all the beaches. Like, we just came to Mahoney Bay and there was nobody in the water, so we just went in there.
Yeah.
And Bill wasn't that keen on going out, but Ken and I went out. We stayed out for 8 hours.
8 hours?
8 whole hours.
Yeah.
And no leg rope.
Yeah. Was it pretty damn good?
Yeah, oh, it's perfection.
Yeah.
Absolute perfection. And Ken was destroying them, and I improved a lot during the day.
That's a horrendous time to be in the water. You must have been like a vegetable when you got out of that.
Yeah, but Ken will say that that's exactly how it was, and I only just lost the board once, but of course you only got to lose the board once.
Yeah.
You do a bit of damage, but that was the board at Atlas Woods I had that I took to Australia on that occasion.
Yeah.
And just had a bit of a ding in the nose and fixed that. But yeah, best day surf.
What's your favourite beach or favourite break? Somewhere that, what's your home break? So where do you most enjoy going for a surf, or just wherever there's good surf, is it? Or
well, I surfed Nungaroo Bar a lot with Steve Boland for a long time, for maybe 6 to 8 years.
Yeah, that's awesome waves when it's working.
And that was not so much left-handed because it gets pretty mellow. Yeah. But it's a right-hander going back into the rocks, but it just doesn't seem to work these days.
Yeah.
And I'm sort of more or less leaning towards Wananaki these days.
Yeah.
But just for sheer thrill of a wave, I don't think you go past the race course.
Yeah.
No, it pops up, it can break anywhere. Yeah. There's no take-off point. And everybody gets away, regardless of how many in the water.
It is quite a grunty wave when it's coming.
Whereas you go to the likes of Wananaki, there's only one take-off point, and and there's more than 5 guys there, it's a bit of a struggle.
It's a bit like party out bar too.
Yeah.
You go down
I've
the
had some
crowd.
good suits at party out
Yeah,
bar.
yeah. You ever get up to horror bar at all much?
I've had it, went through a bit of a suspect period there with
Yeah.
people breaking the cars.
Yeah.
And I've eaten a bit of gravel there,
Yeah, yeah.
because it breaks in pretty shallow water.
Shallow water. I took a friend there and he ate it on his first wave, but he was bleeding and I didn't know whether to take him back. But he stuck it out, but he had some good wine over it. It was a horrible thing to see that he just went straight into that. It was probably 1200 high, but it's quite a fast little
Oh,
one.
yeah, it's fast,
And
isn't
he
it?
just ate it, he really did, but he came right.
Yeah, it does.
But, mate, I don't know what else to ask you now. We've
Oh,
got-
Taupo Bay's been really good to me too.
Yeah, Taupo Bay?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
Possibly my
Yeah.
best right hand I've ever had there.
Yeah, yeah.
But,
It's a fair hike though. Or, yeah, where were you
Yeah,
living
yeah,
then? Yeah,
usually, I have some Paradise Bay's been good.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Uh,
That's beautiful little
Yeah.
bay, Paradise Bay, isn't it? Yeah,
But of course, the Gold Coast is pretty good.
yeah,
And I've been out of Margaret River,
yeah,
a little bit out of my depth there because I wasn't fit.
yeah, yeah.
And that's a wave with
So did you
huge
surf?
amount of push.
Yeah. When you were in Margaret River, when was that? Not so long ago?
No, I have been back to Gracetown
Yeah,
and surfed there, but I had a land aboard and I wasn't really comfortable with it.
yeah. You didn't know it. Yeah, yeah.
And it's sort of wave, you've got to have everything going for you.
Yeah.
The confidence has got to be sky high.
I think for a Kiwi too over there, you're looking in the water a bit more than what you are here, sort of things for fins and things. I know I definitely do anyway. So yeah. Tom, that's about it, mate.
Yeah. And I just look, have you got something that's still going?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
I just met some bloody good guys, that's all.
Yeah, yeah. I think, I've known, I think we might have played a bit of rugby together years ago, but once you meet a surfy, you know him for life, don't you?
Yeah,
And it always gives you the time of day sort of thing, so that's...
Yeah, you've got something in common.
Yeah,
straight
yeah,
away.
yeah. Brilliant.
Yeah.
All right, Tom. Excellent. That's some good stuff there. See, what